For Margery Magill at the Bids. Tuesday evening.
May have to wait.
No, there's no battery in the mic.
Hold it. Take it. Sorry.
Is there another mic?
I have another mic. I don't know that that's going to help him.
Could have been something. Just unplugging and plugging.
Is the Bluetooth turned on? Does your Bluetooth need to be turned off?
Yeah, I mean, I turned my Bluetooth on. Nothing's connected to it.
Pull people closer to the shop.
That sounds like it's on.
I don't know why. See, I'm familiar with Microsoft, but not these kind of systems.
Somebody else have like another portable speaker with a test.
Do you know if the sensors are on dimensions? What this actually is? This an ion? Yeah. Only thing you think of is just to Google it really quick. Oh yeah. Ion telemeter.
It's the right job.
My microphone is not working. radio function needs to be on off, which I believe it is. You can use the microphone with the Bluetooth function or auxiliary, but the microphone will not function if the radio is on.
Maybe turn the volume down and test the radio.
And we already tried it with the aux.
Maybe try with just the aux.
Is that probably
Yeah, it's definitely off, and Bluetooth is off too.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Hello? Hello?
Can you take off the muffler? If you want it off. Well, I'm just wondering if.
Turn it up.
testing? Testing?
It's all the way up. The right side.
Testing? Testing?
Better.
It's about all the
What we're getting.
How is that? Can you try that? Should we try the other mic too? Do you still have the other mic?
Yes.
I'm going to run up to my car, which is on the other side of the park. I have a megaphone. Whether or not the batteries are good, I don't know.
Okay.
So he's going to tell me if you get it running, but in the meantime, I'm heading up.
Okay. Well, it's on. Wait.
Yeah, just center.
Want to try another mic? Whatever can help.
Testing.
It sounds like it's got to be all the way up on both sides to get any amplification.
Testing. Testing.
What we may want to do is, if you want to have people come up here and write cards while waiting,
Yes.
we want to make that announcement.
Yeah.
Do that, or do you want one on?
I can do it. Testing. Testing. There's the.
Hi everyone. We're having a little bit of technical problems with the speaker and the microphone system, but we'll get that taken care of as soon as we can. My name is Meridian Magill. I was Margery's younger sister. I am Margery's younger sister. And in the time being, what we would like is we have some cards up here. We also have some pens and pencils. If any of you would like to write any sort of note, anonymous or not, we would love for you to come up here and write a note for us. You can just fold it and leave it on the table. So while we're waiting to prepare some things that we're going to speak about, if you wouldn't mind writing a note to Margery, how you knew her, how she may have impacted you. If you didn't know her, then just something, we'd really appreciate that. So they're going to be up here. Thank you.
And I've got some AA batteries, even more than this, so if the megaphone takes AA's.
I think the other
We have double A's. We have a bunch of double A's.
Okay.
Is that this microphone takes double A's?
No, the megaphone.
Oh, the megaphone takes double
The
A's.
officer said he's going to go get. I'm just guessing. If it does, then I can help.
Oh, okay, cool. We got some as well. Michelle?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, sorry.
I don't think the setup's going to work there. When she was up there, you can go talk louder, man.
They're gonna have to scream.
But I physically can't hear you.
All right, everyone. So until we get this figured out, what we're going to do is, first of all, since we're going to be kind of going by just the sheer volume of our voices, I'm going to ask some of you to just kind of come in a little bit closer. This is kind of a friendly atmosphere, so if you wouldn't mind, so we can hear each other better. And like I said, my name is Rayanne. I'm Margery's younger sister. And this evening is all about celebrating Margery. It's about celebrating her life, the people in her life, and quite frankly, the wonderful person that she was. I knew Margery as an older sister. When I was younger, I knew her as a foe. We actually did not get along at all until she left for college. So I was 14 and she was 18, and that was when we first started to actually be friendly towards each other. We would often fight and argue and throw smoothies at each other and everything that sisters do. And it kind of took her moving away for us to realize, I think, how much we truly appreciated each other. Margery was just as much my best friend as she was my mentor. She was my ally. She was my confidant. She knew everything about me, and I knew everything about her. And, you know, all of you know this, but she was a wonderful and loving person until the very end. And quite frankly, tonight, my family and I and her friends, we just ask that this is a moment that we can celebrate Margery. We can celebrate her love, her enthusiasm, and her life, which was beautiful. And in her 27 years, she did more than most of us, quite honestly, might be able to do in our entire lifetimes. And she was a wonderful person, and she was going to be the person that was going to change the world. Everyone always says that they want to go out and do something big, and Margery was going to be that person. I truly believe from the bottom of my heart that Margery was going to actually go out, do something, and change lives. And so it's a sad day to think that she's not going to have that opportunity anymore. But we have to reflect and honor her life and appreciate the moments that she did have and appreciate the people that she did impact and every life up until her passing that she did change. So we'd like to open up the floor to anyone who feels comfortable speaking about Margery, whether or not you knew her, any funny stories, any memories, good or bad. However you'd like to honor Margery, we're more than happy to have you speak tonight. It's going to be quite informal. This is just a friendly gathering of people to honor Margery Magill. And, we wouldn't be able to be here without the support from the police here in Washington, D.C., who have been nothing but amazing to myself and my family through this trying times. They've done absolutely everything that they could. And, we respect them and appreciate them more than they'll ever know. And some of their members are here tonight to make sure that we can safely gather, which I think is the most important aspect of tonight's gathering. So anyway, we have some really important people in Margery's lives who are here tonight, who are going to speak after me. And after them, I guess it's just it's like open mic, whoever wants to come up and say something. But anyway, thank you so much for coming. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single one of you that's here and everything that you've done to be here tonight. And we know that Margery's not going to be forgotten. So thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Caitlin. Margery was my best friend in the entire world. I'll never forget the day that I met her. We were both being inaugurated into the Women's Democratic Club, a place that we were really happy to be at, and I saw her sitting at a table full of energy with 3 other women, and I went over there because it looked really fun. And ever since then, we've been best friends. Margery and I were inspired by these women's stories, and that night set the tone of our friendship. We constantly sent each other women's activism events around DC, and we would go to 3 to 4 times a week. Margery did not stop. She did so much around DC. So besides our passion for feminism, Margery and I loved adventure. We took a 10-hour car ride to New York, which should have been 5 hours. But DC traffic is just horrible as you know it. And so we talked the entire time, and we never ran out of things to say, and she was always laughing and smiling. She was the kindest person, and she was there for me for some very tough moments. She always knew what to say, and she distracted me, and she made me laugh with adventures around DC to the thrift stores and coffee shops. And every morning she would say good morning and leave me voice messages on WhatsApp, and I just never met a person who did that in this world. And so I got to spend Margery's last weekend with her, and I was with her for 2 whole days. I don't know how it happened, but I was very grateful to do that. And so we just laughed, we got sushi and Thai food, and she actually helped me move to DC from Maryland. And she was just with me through that whole time. And so I'm really grateful that I got to have a lot of conversations with her about life and stuff her sister mentioned and her plans to change the world. And so I will continue to live for Margery and model my life about how she lived. I'm going to fight for women's rights, and I'm going to do it for her every day because she would want that. So thank you.
everybody, my name's Emma and I'm Margery's roommate, and I had the best pleasure of knowing her for the past 9 months since she moved into our quirky little group house in Petworth. I can't begin to explain how hard it is to accept that you're no longer here with us. You were a part of my everyday life, and now you're gone just like that. It's been unimaginably hard trying to understand why this happened to the most amazing and strongest person on this earth. I just don't get it. Ever since the day I met you from our Craigslist roomie date, I knew we would be best friends. We instantly clicked on our little foyer, and I totally dominated the conversation over all of our other roommates who were there. We just had so much in common, and we just couldn't stop talking. A 20-minute roommate date lasted into about an hour and a half. But I was so nervous whenever we were waiting to hear back from her because I loved her so much already, and I really wanted her to come live with us. The room that we were trying to fill wasn't all glitz and glam. There was patches on the wall, and it wasn't anything special. But she saw through those holes, and she saw through everything. And you know what she saw? She saw us, and she found a great home, away from California, away from her family, and she found a new group of people to call her family here. And I'm just so touched to know her and just to have had her impact on my life. So soon after she moved in, we were, at it with doing things around D.C., and we threw a huge housewarming party for her in her honor, and she was able to, meet all of my friends. I grew up in Alexandria, so I had everybody there, and she just instantly became part of the girl squad. And she was like the talk of the party because she introduced everybody to the Magill Swill, the infamous drink that he passed on from his college days, and everybody could not stop talking about it. It was so good. We had so much beer left over after because everybody just wanted the Magill Swill. And she made a really dope sign for it. She was so great at art. So, Jeff, I will continue to pass down that family recipe of yours. I know how much all my friends loved it. We had so many times exploring DC this year. I turned 25 in April and decided to have a huge shebang, and I went all out and got a party bus, and we went to some wineries throughout Leesburg and Virginia, and it was just a blast. It was something that everybody who was there will never forget, and I'm so happy and blessed that she was able to be there for my 25th birthday. And I was there for her 27th birthday this year, and as always, we're at brunch and checking out all these local food places around DC as if we don't already have enough. But she was all over the place. Every day I would wake up, and I wake up around 6 a.m. and I would come out and her light's already on in her room. She's been up since 4 in the morning. Why? Because she wanted to. She wanted to get up. She wanted to enjoy her morning before going into work. She read books from the library. She did yoga. She went on walks around our neighborhood before any of us were even up. I was just getting up, and so usually she'd be coming back, and I would be racing her for the shower, And because I had my morning routine down to a science, like wake up, shower, make my lunch, and I'm off. But every morning I got to spend those 5-10 minutes with her, and we got to chat and just brighten each other's day. She made my day countless times before it was even 7 o'clock in the morning. And you were the most motivated person I know. And since you're no longer here with us, I will continue to live each and every day for you, Margery. Your life was taken too soon and too suddenly in an awful way, and you did not deserve that. And I will dedicate my life to you, Margery, and everything that you wanted to accomplish and everything that you wanted to see in the world. I will do that for you and know that you're always in my heart. And I miss you so much. Thank you, everybody.
My name is Drew. I was dating Margery, and I only knew her for 6 months. We met in February, and the first time that I met her,
The entirety of her personality was apparent immediately. She was bright. She bowled me over. She was intelligent. She was passionate. And she was funny. I've never met a person in my life that I had enjoyed spending so much time with an equal measure of looking up to her. I looked up to her. We spent a lot of time just wandering through D.C. She was very content to just explore. And this quality of hers is perhaps the one that I admire most. She was content to just be and interact with people. We would walk through D.C., we would talk, but we would meet people along the way in shops. We'd run into people on the street that she knew. We'd stop and talk with them, and the way that she looked when she was talking to someone that she knew or that she'd met somebody new that she could befriend, she was so excited. Yeah, she was so excited. She was my strength in the short period that I knew her. She was there for me more often than I could be there for her. And one funny story about that, I had her, brought her along to meet a friend of mine for breakfast about a month ago. And she came and we had breakfast and we had a good time. And she hit it off with my friend's girlfriend, who's here. And when we left, we walked out and she said, "Could we go to CVS real quick? We were going to go hang out somewhere, I forget where." And I asked her why, and she said that about 2 hours before she had stubbed her toe so hard on a door while walking a dog that the toenail had come off. And she was in extreme pain. And I thought back to the conversation that we just had with my friend, and none of that was apparent at all. She was laughing, she was engaging, she didn't say anything to me. So I asked her why she didn't say anything. We could have done this later, we could have gotten a Band-Aid or something, we could have taken care of this. And she said, "I just wanted to enjoy time with you and your friends. That was more important, and I can handle this later." So Margery was a person who prioritized relationships with other people. She prioritized enjoying other people. Other people enjoyed her, and she put that above even her own personal comfort. Margery was a humble person. I knew a lot about her, all the activities that she did before I met her, all the travels that she had done, all the places that she had worked, and the causes that she had participated in, but only to a certain extent. She didn't tell me as much about them as I now know. She didn't tell me as much about her accomplishments as I now know from her family and her other friends. She didn't make that a part of our conversation. I think she was just moving forward the whole time. Most of our conversations about her life, her career, were about where she was going and not necessarily where she had been. And that's something that is that's something that I will miss about her forever. And I thank you for all being here. This is one of many ways that we can all show love to Margery. I think that the way that she would want us to move forward would be to not only learn about the kinds of things that she was passionate about, but also find the things that we understand, the things that we are passionate about, that we've been hurt by, and work towards fixing those things moving forward. They don't have to be the same interests as she had necessarily, as long as we live life with purpose and we drive forward and we love each other, our neighbors, those that we don't know yet. We seek to learn more and we seek to better the world that we live in. So I miss you, Margery. Miss you a lot, and thank all of you for being here.
If anyone at this time would like to say something, please don't be shy. We'd love to hear anything you have to say about Margery or anything like that.
Hello everyone, my name is Ben Sachs. I've had the amazing pleasure of keeping Rayanne's company about the last year or so as her boyfriend, and I only really had about a week of time that I got to spend with Margery, so most of my experience with her is through the eyes of Rayanne, and through that I saw only the greatest. My heart truly breaks for the loss of a mentor and a life partner that she was supposed to have had, all the way until they grew old together. But I did get to spend a week with Margery as she came and visited us in Kansas. Every moment of it was a joy. Rayanne and I spend a lot of our time doing various adventures outdoors, and Margery integrated herself into that quite well. She came and hiked at the local nature preserve with us. She went kayaking, even though those are not really the things that she normally would do. She even went on a pretty intense bike ride with Rayanne. It was, I think, really telling of Margery's temperament. There's a good photo of Margery on this ride, going around down a gravel road out in the country, helmet on, a smile on her face. I looked at that photo when they got back, and Rayanne says she was having such a bad time in this photo. She was having a tough time, but she was there for her sister and put on a smile, and she was there for Rayanne and for that connection, and so that's something that I will always cherish, that memory of Margery. So, thank you.
So hey everyone, my name is Ali, and I'm Margery's ex-boyfriend, and I was lucky enough to spend 3 years with her, live in Istanbul and then move to London together. And actually this dress, when she bought it, I remember it. God, we were late. I was telling her, we have to go now, you can't spend time on it. And then the fact that this is on this now is basically she's saying, gotcha. See, I got the dress, it's here. So I want to talk about Margery's relationship with dogs, because even though, I knew her for a long time, I recently came to understand how much she liked dogs, very recently. So one thing about it is, I remember one time we were just walking and actually having a pretty serious discussion about something. And as we were doing it, there was a dog, a puppy passing by. And whenever any puppy passed by, small, big, whatever, any type, she would put on that baby voice and start oh, puppy, whatever. And we were having a very serious discussion. And the first time I was okay, that's fine. But the second puppy, third puppy, and then after a point I was okay, fine, we're not going to discuss today. We need to go somewhere that is puppy free. And when she passed away 2 weeks ago, I opened this box, that I have all the letters and postcards. She sent a lot of letters and postcards. And I realized that almost all of them had a puppy picture on them. Because you get them one by one, you don't get to look at them all together and see it. And by the way, in London, she walked some royalty puppies and, some puppies of the producers of Game of Thrones as well. That is kind of a fun fact. And finally, when I was looking up, her on Google and whatever to read the news about her, obsessively first week, I saw some of the media, covering her as dog walker, and I was this is kind of annoying. I mean, she was much more than that. But then I kind of thought that, actually she wouldn't mind that. She would actually enjoy it. She would enjoy being remembered as a dog walker because she was such a dog person. So after all this time, I came to finally understand how much she liked dogs and just truly a puppy person. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Allow me to add a few words. Occasionally in my work, you have the privilege of representing some incredible people. You've seen and heard from Margery's Washington, D.C. friends. As I look at all of you, she impressed a wide range of people. Earlier today, I had the privilege of spending time in my office with Jeff and Bonnie and Rayanne and a couple of their friends from California. It doesn't surprise me that so many of you are here, because I sensed from the meeting this morning or this afternoon with the family that their strength, their love, their commitment to service as teachers in the Sacramento Valley of California for more than 3, almost 4 decades, that was passed on to Margery. I didn't have the privilege of knowing her, although I came close. 2014, she interviewed as an intern as she had left the University of California, Davis. She made a better selection than my office and wound up traveling the world, wound up educating or studying in England, and then returning to Washington to pursue a life of service. And that's reflected in the words you heard from her friends, and I heard from her parents earlier today. And so this tragedy affects all of us. Many of you personally. It affects our community, it affects Washington, and it certainly had a great effect on the Central Valley of California. But out of this tragedy has come a commitment from her family and friends to work on mental health. And the mental health issues that all of us should be pursuing, whether it's the funding from government programs or reaching out as individuals to people that are in need of your love, your sympathy, your understanding. And so that's what they shared with me today. And I thank Jeff and Bonnie. I thank you for your incredible courage, Marianne, for what is obvious leadership. For all of us, we all have work to do. Thank you.
My name's Andy Dennis. In one of Margery's pit stops in many travel, she landed in Louisville, Kentucky in 2016, where she and I were working together at a small nonprofit that registered high school students to vote and be more civically engaged. We shared an office that was probably no bigger than this little area of bushes behind y'all. And so to get our minds working, to get creative, we would what we like to go on business lunches, where she and I would drive down the block to the all-you-can-eat buffet. We'd stay there for an hour, say, okay, it's been an hour, back to the office, and we'd have a list of ideas that we could go then and work on. The next week, we had another business lunch. The week after, we had two, turned in at 1 hour to 2 hours, and by the end of the summer, we were having 2 to 3 business lunches every week and having some really great conversations at the all-you-can-eat buffet, which was the only place we had a business lunch, by the way. It was during these lunches that I learned more about Margery and her family and her love of travel, her adventurous spirit, and there would be times where she would talk about what she wanted to do. We were both young, we were both just out of college. And that desire to experience everything life had to offer, whether it was in Kentucky, whether it was in D.C., Turkey, London, California, wherever it might be, it really inspires someone to think about, what is it you want to do? Okay, let me just go and do it. She did not see any barrier, no matter what she was trying to do, no matter who she was trying to inspire or connect with. And that's, I think, one of the best memories I have with Margery, is taking away her spirit and trying to apply it to my own life. And we both ended up here. So I think, if anything, I actually listened to her advice and, went out of my way to try and do something that I wanted to do. So thank you, Margery, for inspiring me to do that, and thank you for inspiring everyone to be here as well.
I saw Margery's face on TV, and the sweetness of her face just came through. almost made me cry. And her sister did a beautiful speech last night on the news. I wanted to congratulate you for that. I was a victim of crime about 11 years ago, and I had a near-death experience, and I survived it. And I have a great love of animals, and when I saw Margery's face on the TV screen, it just came over. Her nature and her sweetness and her love of animals, so I knew I had to come here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michaela. I met Margery through Emma at her housewarming party, and we hit it off immediately. I couldn't put together anything to really say about Margery because it's so much. The best thing I could say to her is thank you. So this is a letter I wrote to her, thanking her for touching my life and impacting me and changing me the way that she did. So please forgive me if I stumble. Margery, my lovely friend, I had no idea the day I met you how wonderful and bright you would make my life. I thank you for your friendship, honesty, and refreshing spirit. Your innate ability to connect with all around you always amazes me. I am privileged to have been one of those people. Thank you for the belly laughs, the celebrations, and hugs. Around you, I felt proud to be a woman, to be myself. You had a special way of doing that, making everyone around you feel like where they are is exactly where they should be. I always had a feeling of acceptance. Thank you for empowering, motivating, and understanding the community, peers, friends, and me. You made everyone feel heard because you always listened. It was so genuine the way you listened. You listened to understand and empathize, not to reply immediately. Looking back, I wish I listened to you more, but going forward, I will always remember the life lessons of Margery. Thank you for being you, unapologetically, beautifully, and powerfully. You're a force in this universe, so strong and proud of the woman you were, ready to take on the world. You have instilled those values on the ones you love, who loved you the most. What is truly is amazing is your confidence, strength, and powerhouse, kick-butt woman traits were balanced so spectacularly with grace, sophistication, and love. We all have so much to learn from the way you were able to do that. So Margery, I thank you. During my time with you, you made me a better human, more caring, more gentle. I will always be angry with what happened to you. Forgiveness is out of the question, although I know it's what you would have wanted. When I think about you, I promise it will only be how I can ensure your legacy. I will think about the good times, the lessons, the friendship we shared. Every time I see an orange curly bob haircut, I'll smile. I'll hold you forever in my heart, Margery Magill, now and forever. I hope the goats are super cute in heaven. Thank you.
We're going to talk about God now. We're going to talk about God now. I'm just going to read a few pieces of scripture. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about Margery. You've all done an excellent job doing that. And Rhiannon, you brought something to my mind when you said change lives. Obviously, she's changed a lot of lives here. My daughter especially. And she's changed mine. I only met her once. But seeing all you here and witnessing what's going on, you've changed my life, my perspective on things. In Genesis, God said, let there be light. Margery was light. Not only that, science has proved now that when conception occurs and the sperm meets the egg, a flash of light occurs. Okay? Jesus was light. He was truth. He was honesty. That's what we all have here today. The honesty about Margery. Thank her for being a good friend to all of you. Thank her for her travels. I can't imagine how many other lives she has touched throughout the world in her travels. Obviously, she made an impact. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son and daughter, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Margery has everlasting life in all of you. God is my witness. And it's kind of funny, on our way here tonight, my fiance, I said, did you pray about a parking place? I said, no, I didn't, because I didn't have time. God will provide. Guess what? I'm parked right here on W Street. God provided. I feel the presence of God here today, tonight, with all of you. I see it in your eyes. I see it in your smiles. I see it in the exuberance you have. John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto Father but through me. And the last thing I want to give that you all need to receive is the armor of God. And it's Ephesians 6:13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about the truth, and having one on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto all the perseverance and supplication for all saints. Amen.
So if no one else has any other words that they would like to share or Jeff, would you?
I'm Jeff McGill. I'm Margery's dad, and just want to thank all of you for being here. Obviously, as everybody said, it's a great outpouring of support and love for Margery. She touched so many people. I want to thank all of you, people we don't even know, who supported us, sent us cards and letters and gifts and flowers, and we have dear family here and friends from long ago and recent, and I want to thank Congressman Garamendi for being here. He was a great support today. I also want to reiterate with my daughter about the D.C. police. Just been tremendous. And we met with the police chief today personally, and just a wonderful person and great people here. It's been a tremendous outpouring, and I do want to let you know that her legacy will live on, and we are going to be advocating for some of the things that the congressman talked about with mental health issues. Obviously, you'll be hearing more about it. We're going to need your help as friends and people who support her and us and everyone down the road to make sure, these kind of things never happen again. But I just so grateful for all of you to be here, and thank you again on behalf of my family and friends, and we love you all. Thank you very much.
We're going to start passing out the candles now. It's not quite dark yet, but by the time we get around to everybody, we should be getting there. And then we'll begin to light the candles. We'll start you off, but then if you can continue to help each other lighting the candles. I don't think that we'll have enough, so some of you could share. And then we'd like to just sort of share in the memory of Margery with this light that we share together and that we pass off from one to another. So, Brandon, I want to give you a candle first.
Here.
Let's all line up and come by.
Do you want to keep this on?
you want me to keep it on?
Thank you.